Hi. Uh, I've had occasion to think about how people come to their beliefs because, for one thing, I put out a weekly op-ed in the conservative Trumpy area I live in the Shenandoah Valley of Virginia. And I feel that I put out some arguments that should make it difficult for some of my readers to stick with what they think and what they say. I'm trying to persuade them to not be Trumpy. Trying to persuade them that their own true values, as they've expressed them to me, uh, are under assault from what they're supporting. But I don't have any reason to believe I'm having an impact in that respect. Maybe I am, but my my sense is that there's an imperviousness that people have come to certain beliefs, um, and the evidence and logic uh, are not going to be adequate to change those beliefs. I, I don't fully understand exactly how all this stuff works. I'm a guy. Um, I try very hard to have the integrity to come to my beliefs by studying the evidence and reaching reasonable conclusions based on the evidence. It's sort of a scientific approach. Try to understand things, believe, formulate good theories about things, perceive things as accurately as you can, using that apply, uh, reason applied to evidence model. But I'm living in an area where, if polls are to be believed, the three quarters of the two thirds of the people voted for Trump, and three quarters of them, presumably, uh, who believe, or at least claim to believe, um, that the election was stolen from Trump. I don't know. You know, where does that belief come from? You know, why do they have that belief when the evidence is just overwhelming? It's just not true. So I wonder about people, how they come by their beliefs. Also, I live in an area of that was, you know, Virginia was where the capital of the Confederacy was. It wasn't maybe the most intensely Confederate state, but this is definitely a place where local people will fly the stars and bars. Sometimes instead of the stars and stripes, sometimes the two right next to each other, as if there's no uh, contradiction between a flag that represented the Union in a war against Confederacy that was had that as their battle flag. But anyway, they come by their beliefs in uh, a variety of ways. So that I've tried to show, for example, some things that are true and that are demonstrably true about the Confederacy that are far from beautiful. But I don't know if anybody, I don't know if I had any effect. Uh, I, the passions that are behind the belief in the goodness of the Confederacy and an angry sense of the goodness of the Confederacy, um, that has arrived by some means. Like they got those beliefs from being part of their community, is one way of putting it. Uh, Evidence and logic are irrelevant, and also there's a element of power being wielded in the situation. That there is a there were laws in the Confederacy, like in the early 20th century, in some states that would require a teacher to teach falsehoods about what the Civil War was about. You could be fired for teaching about the Civil War and the coming of the Civil War in a way that any good historian would today, in ways that make the centrality of the issue of slavery absolutely clear. I mean, the idea that it was over states' rights it's a laugh. But if you're a member of a community that says this is what we believe, this is where we're at, then when you get people changing the name on the schools from a Confederate general like Stonewall Jackson, so in the area, the catchment area of which I am in, to Mountain View, there is a popular uprising because people got their beliefs as members of a community, which for whatever reason, but it's not probably about logic and evidence. There are authorities that are also in this picture. I mean, one of the things about the scientific method that's supposed to be of one of its virtues is that power and authority don't get to say what truth is. So when the Catholic authorities refused to look through Galileo's telescope, and I think he was under house arrest because he'd said things that were contrary to the cosmology of the Catholic Church, they refused to look at through the telescope at the 4 moons around Saturn. But the story is told, but they are there, says Galileo, and it is an affirmation that power does not get to declare what's true. But in some places there's a subservience of some people's thinking to a leader. There's sometimes what the leader says becomes true because the leader said it. There seems to be something like that between Donald Trump and a great many Americans, unless they're lying to pollsters about what they believe. Now, I don't understand just what it is, but I think that we can say that one of the ways that people can come to their beliefs is through the channel of some kind of a connection between leader and followers. I think that draws on something which is probably a part of humanity that doesn't just operate at the destructive level that we might see now. I think that that there's a way in which sometimes a charismatic figure can gain a certain amount of influence over a following. And it can be for better, though maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. I've never been part of such a thing. But I think that there are leaders that add goodness and who exercise some degree of that charismatic connection. And so, but one of the things that I think differentiates a positive leader, like the ones that I studied when I wanted to be inspired while I was running for Congress. Lincoln, FDR, and Churchill are the ones I read multiple biographies of each because each of them in their moment was so inspiring. So I do think that there is a place for a leader-follower relationship to have some aspect of that, to bring something good out of the people. But there's a whole other approach to becoming such a leader, which is based on lies. With Trump, it is based on lies. There's no way he cares about making America great again. He doesn't care about America. I mean, that's been obvious for several years now. Make America great again. He operates with lies. And I think that Hitler operated also with lies. So I think that the way you can tell whether a charisma connection was empowering a leader, if there's truths that are being communicated, then it might well be a force for the good. Humankind sort of rising in some way together to make good things happen. But if it's all a bunch of lies, that tells you that nothing good can come of it. The evil side uses people. The good side serves them. That's how you tell genuine prophets from false prophets. That's how we can tell that this relationship between Donald Trump and people who will stick with him no matter what he does, who will believe whatever he says, it's not a good thing. It's the opposite of a good thing. Thank you.